Good morning, everyone. Welcome to webinar for portfolio management for Microsoft Azure DevOps. My name is Anton Krasov. I'm from a company called Flint Pro, and we're presenting a product called PPM Express. PPM Express is a modern portfolio management system, and we'll today demonstrate how the system can be used with Azure DevOps. It's one of the systems that we support, and how companies can improve their portfolio management and visibility of all the work in Azure DevOps using PPM Express. If you have questions during the webinar, please feel free to ask them in question section. And before we start, I would like to run a small poll just for a couple minutes. So I will launch it. Please answer the questions if possible. What do you see? You can pick multiple options. Okay, I'm going to close the poll right now, and we'll start our presentation. Thank you again, for providing the answers. I see that about half of people have used Azure DevOps. 60% use Microsoft Planner, 40% Project Online, and 60% have Jira in their organization. And that's exactly one of the reasons why we created PPM Express. Is we found that, and that's a reality, that modern organizations use multiple tools for managing work. And it can be Project Online, it can be Jira, it can be Planner, it can be Azure DevOps, it can be Jira. Reality is that it's usually all of those tools, and because different teams, different departments use different solutions that best suit their needs. But one of the challenges that organization facing with this hybrid approach, where we can make the traditional and agile approach, where we have different tools of different maturity and complexity, is that the reality is that there is no common process, because the tools, they're so different that they do not support common project management foundation. There is a big problem with reporting. There's no unified reporting, and very often there is no complete visibility in projects. There's no one place where you can see all the work in one place. And in addition to that, executives and PMO need to go to multiple systems to find the information, to find the details about projects, about specific project. Same time, if you go just, for example, into Azure DevOps, we see the different scenario of using Azure DevOps as well. Some organizations have maybe medium-sized or small projects, and they track everything as a project. Some organizations consider that their Epic is a project, and they want to track all the work on the Epic level. Say that Epic is a project. They will want to track it as project, and it's part maybe of a program or portfolio or product line. Even there, we have that flexibility and different ways of using the systems. And Azure DevOps is a great platform, but it's kind of it has its own audience. It has its own cons and pros, but the focus is that it's really focused on one single project or a program, or it can be a product line. There's a limited functionality that where you can see that cross project visibility. There's limited status management. There is limited EPMO support. Microsoft has some add-ons that provide some top level like feature timeline and another feature, but still it's not giving the answer, especially if there are multiple tools used in an organization. With how companies solve it, we are Microsoft Gold Partner, and typical scenario is to solve it by integrating or by bringing the data from Microsoft Azure DevOps into, for example, such platform like, for example, Microsoft Project Online. So we can bring that information in. We can have it as part of the schedule. We can bring a separate project. It's good. It's improve visibility, but it's a complex. Every integration is a complex process. So it's usually it's a custom solution. It's quite I would say the moderate or high cost for such integration. Take several months to implement such systems. Since in most cases, all the integrations, there are some kind of like backend solution, like it needs to be deployed with IT, it needs to be maintained, it needs to be supported. There are always some flexibility constraints, and frankly, if you're talking about the specifically Microsoft project and Azure DevOps, Microsoft project is a traditional. There are like support of this agile projects, the boards, but let's be fair, it's more a traditional waterfall project management where it shines, and Azure DevOps for mostly it's agile project, and you need to invent a way how to show the sprint information, iteration information in your project, how to track progress and make a lot of compromises, how that information is displayed. That's an integration approach, but instead what we have in PPM Express and what we suggest in PPM Express is we are saying you don't need to integrate, you don't need to replace, you need to connect systems. And by connecting means that we have a concept in PPM Express called project. It's a surprise. And you can link information, your projects or Epic from Azure DevOps into projects in PPM Express. And your work is still being managed in Azure DevOps. Your teams to change no tool. They still work with their task box, work items, user stories, epics, and on different level, management, top management or product owner, for example, they work with epics and features. Teams work with features and work items and breakdowns, user stories, and break down them to task and bugs and all other elements. So it's you still use your same tool of choice for managing your work, but in PPM Express it's aggregators that gets all that information and builds those dashboards for management, for PMO, where they can see all that work and statuses of that work in one place. Okay. PPM Express is a web application. It's hosted, it runs on the Microsoft Azure. It's designed for executive and PMO usage. Again, like there's no with Connect approach, there is no need for teams to make any changes in the way how they do their work. They keep working in the same Azure DevOps or Planner or Jira and in any application to manage their daily work. PPM Express is integrated with Office 365, so you can sign up with Office 365 or with Gmail. We use Power BI as reporting platform. So again, like there's no change here. If you have Power BI as your enterprise reporting platform, you just get our reports pack, deploy to your Power BI and connect to PPM Express, and you can embed it into your dashboards. You can consume information. So it's fully integrated. We support Office 365 Group, so we have features for collaboration where you can link project to Office 365 Group to store a file, to collaborate, to have track any additional information. And like since it's part of Office 365 family, like you can with your login you can access any application and provide some use some external links for that. From the feature standpoint, we provide kind of like we identified I would say 7 main business values that we provide. First of all, there's the project status management, project and portfolio status management. Second is consolidated reporting for entire work being managed organization. Third is we provide functionality for budget management for portfolio and for projects, where you can create budget, financial forecast, and track the execution. You have feature for key dates and milestones, which is project key dates and milestones, which is critical for management to track the progress and see if teams meet the commitments that they made. We support ability to extend projects with attributes. Like many of you know, it's custom fields. So what you can do is you can create additional attributes and track that information in one place, and those attributes are available for reporting everywhere. risk and issue management, and portfolio grouping, management, and timelines. So those are like main features that we support. And in addition to just a feature, just to give you the overview of the platform again, like it's I would reference one of the first slides. Today we talk about the Azure DevOps, and I will demonstrate Azure DevOps mostly. But we have connectors to Project Online, we have connectors to Planner, we will be releasing the connector to Dynamics 365 PSA, and as soon as it's available, the new modern project from Microsoft that is coming somewhere this fall. So it means that no matter, and we have a Jira, so no matter where your work is managed, you have one location where you can see all that work from that one location in a very clean and simple interface. It's a new tool for executives. It's a one single reporting source, but you can bring all that work and see all that work in one place. Okay, so let's go to demo, and I will demonstrate very quickly how the application works, and we'll go there. So again, like if you have questions, feel free to raise your questions in question sections, and I will be more than happy to answer them later. So in PPM Express, we have two main concepts. So definitely the first one is a project, and the second concept is called portfolio. Portfolio is a container for your projects, and it can be anything that is how your executives or how your PMO decide. It can be your project in IT department. It can be organized by fiscal year or financial year. It can be by product line. So it's really up to you. It's really up to your organization to decide what is a portfolio. What we have for portfolio is, first of all, you have a tile view where I see, okay, that's my information technology portfolio. The status is on track. I have 25% work completed, 2 out of 8 projects completed. The stage is active. I have several projects there. So there are 5 projects that are at risk, 3 projects that are on track. I have who is a manager. Chris is a manager here. And what I can do is I will say, okay, I have five projects at risk. What are those projects? I can click here, and immediately I will get a view with all my projects that are part of that portfolio that are at risk. So I can see them here, and if needed, I can drill down immediately to understand why it's at risk, and maybe read the definition of why we have here. Second option is that same view. What you can do is like you can view it as a list, simply showing the same information. Okay, it's my portfolio, it's the statuses, it's my project with statuses, who is a manager, who is complete. As well, what I can do, I can switch to statuses view, more detailed. In portfolio, I have several different statuses, not just overall, but schedule and cost, and I can see information. And it's needed, I can create a new view here that will have more columns that I have in portfolio. If I go to my portfolio, for example, the information technology portfolio, I have my portfolio with high-level timeline here, statuses, list of projects that are part of that portfolio, and here I can configure my column. Say, okay, for example, I don't want to see the status; it's not critical. I'm mostly interested just in the project stage and timeline. Or maybe I want to see the status, or for example, I can see. Who is a manager for the project. So it's very easily configurable, all those sections. For portfolio, I see a list of key dates. It's a high level, portfolio level dates that are important, let's say on the much higher levels than just single project. It can be your release dates, it can be specific milestones, it can be any important date that you would like to track and that you would like to see on all the timelines. At the bottom, you have a section with all the custom fields. So here you can create custom fields and track additional attributes for portfolio. And you have the control where you can define a budget for your portfolio. very lightweight grid style control where you can enter the budget for your portfolio. It can be, okay, for my IT portfolio, my budget is $1 million, and we will spend $60,000 for licenses, $200,000 for hardware, and the rest will be the work or vendor payment. So whatever the numbers you have, you can configure them and you can enter them. If I see the from here, from portfolio standpoint, I can provision the Office 365 group. I can connect to existing one, or I can create a new one, where I can store some portfolio related information, maybe some attributes or rules, or some documents, presentations, decks, that you need a place to store them instead of using the sharing. It can be connected. And if I need to drill down to a project, I always can click here on the project and just get to the details. Same time, when I go to the project sections, in this case, I see my information technology portfolio and project data at risk. I can say, okay, show me all the projects, that are on track. And I see, for example, a view where I see my on track project. I can see the projects, or for example, my projects that are managed in Azure DevOps. I have, okay, that's my projects, and they're all being managed in Azure DevOps. For every project, again, like we have three views. So tile view, I have a view where I can see that in the form of the list, again with the same status view, my project, my statuses. Or I can see them in the timeline view, where I see visual representations with all my project timelines with key dates and milestones for that project. So very visual. Focus on what matters. Visually represent the dates and the timeline. And again, like you see some of the diamonds, they shown as red, and it's simply, and the reason very simple. It's like immediately we show that information, we highlight that information, and like by seeing the timeline, I can say, okay, my project says that it's on track, and there are late milestones. Is it really on track? So to learn about that, I can drill through it to the project. I can get to the information and see that definitely there's something wrong going on. It says it on track. There are only some resources at risk, but maybe I can talk to project manager and ask why with so many missed milestones and late milestones, I have you keep everything and saying that it's on track when it's not. So in project we have very similar structure for we have sections like I shown on the portfolio, and all those sections are configurable. So what I can say, it's Azure DevOps project. I will turn on iterations here. I have again like project information, status, timeline, statuses, key dates that I can create manually, or I can edit them. So very easy way to add any of those elements. And I see my iteration. This project is connected to Azure DevOps, so I can click here, and that will open my Azure DevOps, and that will sign me in. I'm using the same Office 365 account for everything, and here I can get to my space for my projects. For example, I can see the boards, I can see the entire backlog, and I can see all that information, like global backlog here. Or if I'm in the iteration, for example, that says that okay, we are in the iteration number 5, I can click here, and PPM Express will open the specific task board for iteration number 5, where I can see, okay, that's our plan, that's what we do, that's our progress, that's where we're working on, and that's what the team will work on. In iteration, you see stats like how many user stories you have, completed, not completed, features, start date, finish date, back tasks. But again, all the custom are configurable. So for example, say, yeah, I don't want to see here the number of bugs and tasks. It's not critical for me. User stories and feature that's what I'm interested in. Section with custom fields, where you can see your custom fields, and It's very easy to configure and build. Say, it's also like display, for example, say, okay, I'd like to show the budget field, and I would like, for example, to show the maybe project ID and project number. If I scroll down, they will be all just here. For the team, I see the information about my team. It also came from Azure DevOps. So I have a list of users who are assigned to a project and have any of the work item assigned to them within the current iteration. Or I can see that for entire project, again, like it's same people right now, but I see that information, tasks and bugs by state and by person. For schedule, in case of Azure DevOps, we show the high-level summary of work item types that we have in Azure DevOps, epics, feature, issues, everything. Or again, like I can switch anytime to any of the iteration or to my entire project and see the summary, saying that, okay, out of like we have 317 new, we have 35 active, we have 87 closed items, and I can see them by type of the information. Issues and risk is a simple grids where you can track your risk or issues for your projects. In addition to kind of like standard information, because for example, you need to customize your Azure DevOps to track issues. Maybe there's no risk management. Maybe you want to track a risk and identify, have a risk register for a project, but it's not supported by Azure DevOps. Here you have a standard interface for tracking all that information. In addition, we had a budget and portfolio. You can have a budget on the project level as well, so you can turn on budget component, and you can capture the budget. You can enter the cost categories and track the create a forecast for your project. So all project management components available. Shortly, we are releasing some of the additional sections like action items, steering committee, change requests. So we'll provide more project management features that you can use as part of your project. So, and again, like it's very easy to configure. I can turn on, turn off sections, and I decide as a user what I would like to track on that project. And if I need to track change requests, hey, here's a section where here's a modules where you can track your change requests for your project. Okay. If you go back to like project view, on every view, like we have very advanced use of reports. So first of all, on every screen, on like where you see some list, there's top view where you can go to home page for reports or single like run the specific report. For every project, if I switch to the tile view, if I click here on the three dots, it's pretty much everywhere I have report. If I go to a project and I go to some of the steps, for example, to key dates, I can have some reports where I can see my specific project key date. So reporting is integrated into into a system very deeply, and it's everywhere. And we use Power BI. We use Power BI for reporting. We have two versions of Power BI. So we have for trial users, we offer the embedded Power BI where users can see some kind of like in-app reporting, but it's only available for trial users, where I can have the embedded Power BI and can see specific report. Or alternatively, you can get a Power BI package, which kind of like we distribute as part of the system, and you can view those reports in. You can deploy it to your Power BI instance or tenant and view it there. So, for example, if we are here and I would like to see the some portfolio summary, let me just refresh just in case. I can get to I can see, for example, my portfolio with all the statuses and the project with projects that are part of that portfolio with their statuses. Again, one of the elements for that is specific to Azure DevOps. You can connect, your project can be project or it can be epic. It can be epic in Azure DevOps. So we've seen scenarios, we've seen very different use of Azure DevOps by different organizations. Again, like it can be, your work can be organized by area paths, your work can be organized by epics, your work can be organized by projects. And in PPM Express, we support all those ways. So you can say, okay, my project is that area path. So maybe you manage work and you would like to see that work on the team basis. Or my project is epic in specific project, and let's say that your project has 20 epics, you have 20 projects in PPM Express that being connected. But for example, I click here back to reporting. I click to enterprise summary here, report. Okay, and I see list of my portfolios. Just let it render. Okay, I see a list of my portfolios. I have their statuses, for example, and I can go here and I can, if I want, I can drill through. I can drill through to, for example, the portfolio, or let's say portfolio projects overview, where I will see the details about my projects that are part of the portfolio. I can go to single project. I can go to resources. So we have about 50 different reports available. For all the aspects, like for financial management, for risk management, for key dates, for timelines, as well as we have reports for resource utilization. So let's say that in Azure DevOps or in Planner you don't have hours, so but you would like to see, okay, is like how much work my team members have. So I can go to resource utilization and see, and I can go to the, for example, resource utilization details, and where I can see my resources, projects, and tasks they're working on, and how many tasks they have over time. So let me scroll here, so I can see the timelines that across projects, across tasks. I can see all that information. I can filter that by projects, by resource, by portfolio, or so all different aspects of viewing that same information. As we discussed for single project, what I can do here is, let me pick all projects, active project. For example, I have this project, and if I connect, for example, if I decide that I want to connect to Azure DevOps, I can connect it very easily. I click on the Azure DevOps, I pick one of my connections that I have here. Here I can pick a project, and in additional filter, I have an option where I can select epic, area, or iteration. I can say, okay, I would like to go to this epic. It means that I can go this down from my project, and it will be created as a project in PPM Express, and I can track all that information. I can track all that information. As well, we have a configuration for understanding that companies use Azure DevOps in many different ways. We support mapping of fields. For example, when you create your projects as epics, projects from epics, you can bring some of the fields from your epics to PPM Express, and as well as you can configure what is called like how to calculate project progress based on the states in your in the user type. So you can say, okay, for in progress, it's a bug, that's an epic, that's test plan, that's the user stories. For completed, that's my element. So we'll provide those elements, and you can configure what means what is your what is not started, what is in progress, what's completed. Because very simple scenario we have. Very simple scenario is we had a customer who tracks when the work item goes to QA. It's still not in the completed state, but they want to show on the dashboard they calculated as a development done. It means that it's complete, and it's important for them to support those calculations, and that's why we have all those additional features where you can configure how the person complete is calculated, or you can use it by default, uh, state by default state, or you can use it for custom calculation scenarios. Okay. Very quickly, couple more items on features. So again, like one more feature that I would like to show here is that we have very often requests, and we'll be coming up with more advanced solution for that. But right now, for example, what I can do is I can also see the project ideas. So I can use PPM Express to capture project requests, project um, uh, ideas for the project. I can build it. I can build the full scale, like I can build budgets for them and capture some additional information, and then as needed. For example, what I can do is, if I'm ready to move it to the project, I can say that, okay, it's project, it's moving from idea to execution. And for example, in case if I'm using the Microsoft Planner, we plan to support that. Even for Planner, you'll be able to say, okay, create us a new plan. So it will automatically come, and we can create a new plan. So we'll extending this functionality there, where you will be able to create that as an epic in Azure DevOps, or as a project in Azure DevOps. You will be able to do that as to do the same in future. Okay, back to my deck. So PPM Express is a fairly new application, so we are on the market for about 6 months. We still working, and I can keep working on adding new features. So one of the big features coming is like data quality warnings. It's exactly like one of the scenarios that I explained. Status says that everything is on track, but we have late milestones. System will be more proactive, highlighting all those issues, because that's where executives need to see the information, where they go, PMO and project manager need to pay attention to find out the data inconsistencies and make sure that they're being addressed. We will have a new UI for timelines, so to make them more visual and more beautiful. And one of the important elements where some companies are interested in is one-to-many support. So what that means is that you can create a project in PPM Express and connect it to one project in, let's say, Project Online and one project in Azure DevOps. And it means that you can get that mix of data from both systems and see them as a big as a single view for management perspective. We're working on the team apps that PPM Express can be embedded into Microsoft Teams as native apps. So right now you can embed it simply just as a website, as a URL, but we will support the native apps. For example, you have a channel for your project. You can embed board from VSTS, and you can onboard the PPM Express app, where you will see, for example, the project details and all the project management information. So this simplifies experience and makes all the information visible and available for all the users. We will adding some prioritization and strategic teams to applications, so you will be able to see your project ideas, prioritize the projects. We'll have some very basic prioritization scenario, but that's also coming. And we coming with new connectors to Smartsheet and Asana, and as soon as Microsoft release a modern project, we'll have the connector for modern project, so that like all the major most popular system will be supporting PPM Express. And again, like if you use more than one tool, it's fine. You can still see all that information in PPM Express. Okay, very quickly for pricing. So our pricing depends on number, on the size, on the team size of the team. It goes down this price. We have 3 edition. We have a free version which is up to 5 people. You can typically it's your executives, PMO, PMs. We have professional edition, which goes from $25 and goes down to $15 again, like depending for, if you buy, for example, 5 users to 25, if you buy 50 users, it will be $15 per month. And we have enterprise version where if you need to connect to project online service now, that will have connector in future, you will need enterprise version. It starts from 35 and goes down, so it's slightly more expensive, but we support that as well. You can sign up anytime at ppm.express. So we encourage you to start a trial and see how it works. If you would like to have an individual demo training, please reach out to me. You can send a mail to info@ppm Express, and I will be more than happy to follow up and schedule that meeting. Okay. Since there are no questions, I hope that you like our application, and please give it a try. We'll be more than happy to help you. And we have very good feedback from customers who use Azure DevOps and PPM Express. They significantly improve visibility. And I hope that will be applicable for your organization as well. Thank you for your time and have a great day.